with former college player and coach Steve Foster and former All-Pro NFL quarterback Jeff Blake.
Where they do it at? Brazil. So we got to do a live look in. The first victors of the round of 16, the knockout round in the 2014 FIFA World Cup, the host nation. Brazil. So we go down, that's right, to our man, ESPN Brazil's, and one of my favorites, alum from the University of Nebraska. That's right. And first round overall pick of the New York Football Jets, Johnny Mitchell. Johnny, welcome.
Hey, what's up, Paul? Hey, what's up, guys? ESPN.
We're doing it, man.
In Brazil. Right now, you caught me on the field. I am training my crocodiles. That is the Curitiba Crocodiles, the city I live in. We have the championship game next Saturday. We're doing final walkthrough preparation, American football here. So if you hear guys training in the background, I'm in a nice little city outside of Curitiba, and we're getting ready for the championship game. But as you seen yesterday, False, that Brazil is still alive, bro. It was scary.
Hey,
but
man,
we're still alive.
I need one of those Hulk 7 jerseys, man. I like that Hulk. That superhero type stuff. You know, I love the Amazing Spider-Man, and then you know my boy Dean Cain played Superman, so I need that yellow Hulk 7 jersey, Mitch. Come on, Mitch.
You sure you want the Hulk jersey, man? He missed the free penalty kick, bro. The Hulk missed the free penalty kick yesterday. He almost cost Brazil a chance to win the World Cup.
Well, you know, you're right. Then give me that number 4 of David Luiz, because he had that nice little first one. And then, you know, Neymar. Hey, this is what I said, and you're down in Brazil. Neymar, with that 10, reminds me of Deshaun Jackson. Just so lightning fast, and just the attitudes that both of them have. What do you think about that, Mitch?
Hey, I tell you what, Neymar he's the Peyton Manning, Tom Brady of American, Brazilian soccer, bro. The guy, he passed the ball well. He gets his team involved. The only problem, they depend too much on him. And a lot of times, they double team him. So other guys have to step up and help with the supporting cast for Brazil to get back to repeat as 6 times world champion. As you know, Brazil has won 5 world champions, more than any country, and we're pulling for the 6th.
Well, that's because y'all had Pele, man. That guy was unbelievable. And Ronaldo,
that's right.
you had some guys.
Hey, Foss, you want to hear something very similar? My team is going for the 6-time championship.
Well, I know
there's similarity there. I just had to throw that in there.
Hey, it's Chico. I got to ask you a question,
Chico,
man.
What's up, bro?
What's happening? Hey, man, what's your team colors for your football team?
Green and black, or green and white.
Okay, I love that. Send me a jersey.
All right, I got you. I have a nice green, black, and gold jersey. I forgot. You got that gold in there.
No, man, I would love to.
Hey, Mitch, you know, as we say, if it's free, get 3. So you know, Blake got to have one too, man.
Hey, man, we would rock that here in the U.S. We would rock that here in the U.S.
You guys got to come here and visit, man. Listen, what about USA? Let's talk about USA.
Well,
whoever thought that they would pass it to, this far? No one's given us that much of a chance because, as you know, our best sports are American football, basketball, baseball, and the rest. But soccer now is becoming something that Americans should really, really consider and start investing in.
Absolutely, Jay Mitch. And I tell you, you can tell in the United States that soccer is making an impact because the commercials and I mean, they're putting some the one lady that's on this one commercial, Mitch, that talks about, watching football, for soccer for the next month, she is out unbelievable standing. And now they're investing quality dollars, quality programming. I'm talking with commercialization to the United States public. And, man, it's getting ready to be July 4th, Independence Day up here. We're playing Belgium on Tuesday. Mitch, how was it when you went and watched Team USA play in Brazil? How was that?
False. I tell you what, you wouldn't believe how many Americans living in Brazil. There's a sports bar that I go to watch it. There's all American fans cheering on the red, white, and blue. And I tell you what, man, the feeling, the atmosphere, it is almost as crazy as when you watch Brazil play and the support they have for Brazil.
Absolutely. Now, you know, the Copacabana Beach where they have the big viewing screen for Team Brazil, do they have something like that where you're located?
Can you repeat that?
There's the big viewing screen at Copacabana Beach. Is there a big place where Brazilians can congregate and watch Team Brazil where you live?
That's right, Foster. As I told you last time, there's 12 stadiums that was built. Each city has a public designated place where they watch the game. And most of the time you catch people out barbecuing. The whole system is shut down. There's no work. Everybody's out when Brazil plays, and there is tickets being sold at a designated city where one of the stadiums are built to watch Brazil play. It is mad, man. It's just a mad thing.
Oh, wow. And, I mean, it goes crazy, the flag holding and just, you know, the jersey wearing. It's somewhere to our, you know, either March Madness where we're talking about a knockout round type, you know, Sweet 16 type feeling around the country, and then all culminating at one stadium and just the crowd just behind one nation.
Well, Foss, think about it like this. Let's say you're in New York and the Giants are playing in the Super Bowl and you're going to the stadium. Take all those Giants fans playing in MetLife, right? That's the new name.
Right.
Playing in MetLife. And think about all those jerseys in that stadium. That's what you have in the entire country. In every corner. In every street.
Yeah.
It's multiplied by what, 10, 20?
Multiplied by 200 million.
Right.
And that's what you got.
Well, listen, you know, I've seen a lot of Americans wearing red, white, and blue hats that say U.S. or USA. Shirts. I went to a little happy hour for a buddy of mine. He's wearing a soccer top. I've got stuff. I had my Olympic polo that had the USA flag. Hey, put on your old Boy Scout uniform, whatever that's got, you know, USA flag on it, and go. You know, so many servicemen and women. It is just unbelievable that the United States has rallied behind this team, a youthful team, nonetheless, in this knockout round of 16, just like Brazil.
Well, right now, Foss, as I told you, America has nothing to lose. They are the underdog. No one expects them to be there where they are right now. No one expects them to win the next round. The world is very old playing soccer, and it's all new to us Americans. But one thing we have is heart. And that's what I instill in my team, and that's why I've never lost as a coach. My guys are mentally, physically sound, and that is one thing I like about America. We have heart. And as long as you got heart and you play with tenacity, with chemistry, you believe in one another, you'll be hard to beat. And that's what I love about my team.
Well, I tell you, I know you're hard to beat. We're talking with Johnny Mitchell, former Nebraska Cornhusker All-American, first-round draft pick of the New York Football Jets, and now a part of ESPN Brazil. We're doing our live look-in here from our studios here in San Antonio down to Brazil, and laying down the law is talking firsthand, real time with Johnny Mitchell. Johnny, tell us and the listeners about some things going on in Brazil that we don't see from the television and the media that is just an incredible sight during this 2014 World Cup.
Hey, boss, as I told you, the atmosphere, everything has been going like clockwork. People are happy. You got many different languages. Every country thinks that their team is the team, and rightfully so. It is getting down to the championship now. There's no margin for errors. And I tell you what, I believe in USA because we have heart and we play well together. That's one thing that I think if Brazil can implement in their game. They try to individually. They got so much talent that every time someone gets close to the goal, they try to make, like you said, hook. One of your favorites player for Brazil. He has a strong leg, but he don't play too well in a team format.
Right.
This is where Brazil is lacking because of the talent. And this is why I love USA, Team USA, and I believe we are the biggest country in the Americas, and if all us Americans rally behind Team USA, nothing but powerful, energetic force going, and I think that's what makes our country so great. That patriotism for our team, patriotism for the country, and a guy like you, hey, man, we Cornhuskers for life, right?
You know it, baby. Absolutely. From the 402 till it's done, man. I tell you what, we can't thank you enough for your live look in. We're right in the heart of Brazil, man, and want to say happy 4th of July to you. We know you're not with us in the contiguous 48. However, man, USA, we do it. We ride or die with the Stars and Stripes, and there's no finer country, regardless of the situation or scenario, than the Stars and Stripes, and we hold them up high. And also, I'm glad that you have resided well in the host country for this FIFA 2014 in Brazil, and Godspeed to them too. They're putting on and taking on a big responsibility in having this championship of soccer, and can't thank you enough. We'll always go to you for that live look-in. We know we have a few more weeks of soccer.
You got it. Let me just say this.
Absolutely.
July 4th is a Friday. Saturday night, we will be embracing that trophy, man. So throw it up. Like Rihanna say, throw it up.
Oh, that football.
That's what we holding up. That championship, 6-time championship. In Portuguese, it's called Hexa. So eu vou falar assim, muito obrigado para todo mundo lá em Estados Unidos. I said, hey, championship, I love it. Love for everybody in the United States.
Hey, man, you can't say it any better than that. We'll look to talk to you next Sunday, man, and see how everything has gone for Team USA, for your football team, for Brazil, and others. So, enjoy the day and back to that walkthrough, Johnny. Appreciate it, Mitch.
Got you, bro. Love you guys, man.
Take care.
Awesome here for you, bro.
Okay, man. We appreciate you. All right, live look in to Brazil. Hard to beat that, man.
Yeah, and big exciting things down there in Brazil. That football league that's happening, the American Football League that's happening down there, and then of course, the big stage, the World Cup. So
FIFA 2014.
Watching it on TV, you probably can't imagine.
You can't get the feel for the stadium.
Well, I mean, I can get a little bit of the feel in the excitement around being in a soccer stadium, but not like that.
Okay, well, let's do this. We'll get a sidebar in. Great segment from our man, Johnny Mitchell from ESPN Brazil, former first-round pick of the New York Football Jets. And we'll have more time. We can take calls. And then at the bottom of this hour, we do our shout-outs. So stay with us right here on Laying Down the Law.
And now, back to Laying Down the Law with former college player and coach Steve Foster and former All-Pro NFL quarterback Jeff Blake.
Back live, and I'll let Chico get a little love. He's watching his football.
Yeah, Mexico is putting the pressure on the Netherlands.
You're actually wearing a Mexico color shirt, but that makes sense.
Yeah,
next door neighbors to Texas.
There you go. I'm gonna support them. Support Mexico when they're playing. Support the USA when they're playing.
All right.
Now when they playing each other,
USA.
Let
me take you to some American football.
Let's do it.
And former first-round draft pick of the Los Angeles Rams. And now appear in the world of attorneydom, the legal world. We bring on, no stranger to the show, a friend, Mel Owens. Mel, good morning and welcome back to Laying Down the Law.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Hey, man, we appreciate you. Wanted to shift gears a little bit. Training camp about 4 weeks away. What did you do in your tenure as a linebacker for the Los Angeles Rams to get ready for training camp?
Well, I trained like everybody else. It's really not any different because your body's the same. The game is essentially the same. They haven't changed the rules in any way that take away from the physicality of it. So a lot of running, a lot of agility, a lot of speed work, obviously strength training, but just trying to keep your body as in best shape as possible.
Absolutely. And one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you today is because you now being an attorney and also working with a lot of former players, even our co-host Jeff Blake. Jeff out doing some work outside the studio today. This concussion lawsuit is now being revisited, and wasn't exactly sure what part you may have played in this with a lot of things going on there and whatnot, but wanted to get your thoughts and reactions to the new decision about the amount of the compensation and just how this affects some of the former players that we knew.
Well, our law firm wasn't directly involved in the concussion lawsuits. We didn't file any of them on behalf of any players, but hundreds of our players that we represented were in these different lawsuits. And obviously, the first attempt to settle it at $765 million, the judge herself said this is not going to be enough to cover the vast majority of the players. And she even gave an example where if only 10% of the players made a claim, the funds would have been exhausted. So she sent it back, and she wanted some actuarials to prove that the money would be enough for the players. Well, of course, it's not. So they concocted a new scheme to prove that there's going to be enough, and what they call it open-ended, uncapped. This is just a ploy by the NFL to shift monies away from the settlement, and they had in the old agreement 10 appeals to try to avoid fraudulent claims. Now it's unlimited. They can challenge as many as they want. You will see that the NFL will be challenging every single one of these, except for obviously the most egregious and obvious cases. So I think it's a horrible settlement for the players because there is no dollar amount. It doesn't spell out specifically what the players can do and can't do, and it's open-ended for the owners to appeal every single one if they want.
So that would effectively hold up anyone getting payment, even if things were correct for that player and legitimized by facts and evidence.
Well, it's their game plan. Number one, if there's any players listening, they know this to be a fact. When they go for their permanent disability or their line of duty, they routinely deny them. If they even get a positive result, they send them out to another doctor until that doctor says he can work. They go to extreme lengths to make sure that the doctors that examine the players, they say they're not injured enough. Workers' compensation, they appeal every single case. They've also crept into state legislatures and changed the law, especially here in California. They've done it in Florida. They've done it in Texas. They've done it in Michigan. They've done it in Illinois. They try to do it in Louisiana. And these are the omnipresent, notorious moves that they do by the NFL. Because the NFL knows one thing they have to eliminate or curtail is the medical costs, because that is their one unknown cost in business. So they want to wrap their arms around it and eliminate it. So if you can appeal it, you're going to appeal it. Most of the guys are old when they have these symptoms. So if I can just appeal it to 20, 30 years out, nobody will ever get any benefits.
Yeah, that's not a good thing. We are talking with former first-round draft pick of the Los Angeles Rams, Mel Owens, and current attorney about the issues of concussion. And we know that these things are real, Mel, but there's so much money in this industry, in the sport. Can't we just properly set aside from the beginning and let this money grow and use it purposely? I mean, we have sales of throwback jerseys of all these guys and whatnot, yet we're willing to just bypass them when it comes to their health?
Greed, out-and-out greed. Of course there's money. The sponsors could pay for it. There could be a joint sponsorship of these remedies and benefits for players. But it's out-and-out greed. On a never-ending quest to get to $25 billion a year, they're going to run over every single player and goose-step their way to that money. So, yes, there could. They fought over $765 million. They're certainly going to, and now it's uncapped and open-ended. So that tells me for sure the players don't know what the number is. And I'm a former player. I played 10 years. Not that I'm looking for anything, but I know there will be no benefit for me. I can feel it, I can smell it, I can see it, I can read it. There will be no benefit for me. Not even if I'm for testing or the maybe or the what ifs. I don't believe there's going to be anything there for the players.
Well, that's a shame because the players are the one that really truly built the National Football League. And again, we buy the throwback jerseys. They make commemorative jerseys. All these things with respect to guys like Johnny Unitas. You see the Joe Namath. You see the Bart Starrs. And then you move even forward and forward. I have Barry Sanders has throwback jersey. Billy Sims, who got his career cut short, had the Billy Sims.
Steve, don't forget the other lawsuit, which is the likeness lawsuit, where the players wanted to benefit from the NFL showing their likeness.
Yes.
And these football follies, and you go to NFL Network, the greatest 100 this, the greatest top 10 that, the 84 draft. So they're making money by repurposing this film of the players, and the players are sitting there watching it like a movie. Go, well, that was me. Look, they got me in the 80s, got me in the 90s, they got me a number one quarterback, they got me linebackers, and the NFL's fighting that. They want to give the players $50 million to walk away, but we wanted to find out what the catalog was worth.
Right.
Imagine Michael Jackson or Rolling Stones, what that catalog is worth on the open market. What would Geffen pay for the NFL library?
Oh, right.
It's worth billions.
Right.
So here they're fighting the players and say, well, here's $50 million and go away. So that could be a way to fund it. Fund different things because they make so much money off it. The 100 years of the NFL is coming up. You got the 75th anniversary of the Super Bowl or whatever that is. So you got a lot of things that are coming up, and you'll see this repurposing of the film, and they're making tons of money off it. But they're not going to share it with the players. That's just their MO.
Well, that's very unfortunate because it is the most popular game in our country. By far, and the NFL is expanding. When I had an opportunity to go up to Super Bowl week in New York, I met and have folks cards from the UK and also from China, and you open those, that Chinese market to the National Football League, that's 2-3 billion people. If you just get a slice of that, kicking into
these
this,
are just repetitive markets where
yes.
the players or the fans repeatedly buy the merchandise and buy the product, because you have to, you're feeding them on Sunday, Monday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. Then you've got the jersey sales and the videos and the NFL channel. You got all the networks rebroadcasting. So there's a lot of money out here. But as one famous or one GM famously said, the players are fungible goods, and once they're gone, who cares about them?
That's horrible. Mel, can you stay with us through the break? Are you okay?
Sure.
Okay. Let's do this. Let's get that discussion further down the road. Find out some more information from first-round draft pick Mel Owens and current attorney, getting some insight. And sometimes you got to look under the hood to clear things up. So stay with us right here on Laying Down the Law.
And now, back to Laying Down the Law with former college player and coach Steve Foster and former All-Pro NFL quarterback Jeff Blake.
Back, and we have former Los Angeles Rams first-round draft pick Mel Owens from the University of Michigan back with us, now current attorney, talking NFL, and we appreciate him holding through the break. Mel.
Yes.
Put that Sledgehammer on. It's one of our favorite songs, plus I know you were hitting guys like me as if you were a sledgehammer, and that hurts. That hurts, man. You know, you got to protect yourself, and you know, just like others, that a helmet only does so much. And this is a grown man's industry. The National Football League, it makes so much money. It's different than what's going on with World Cup. And I know that there's salaries abounding there, and I know there's injuries with soccer, but not like football, American style.
No, you know, my wife is Brazilian, so our household was teetering on the brink of disaster yesterday with every penalty kick. I mean, we had tears, we had my kids crying. I'm like, man, I know it's important, but I mean, come on, guys. But I was sweating it out because if it didn't work out, I'd be on the bad end of that deal.
No doubt.
But, and concussions happen in every sport. Horse riding, you know, the ATV accidents happen. You know, baseball, you see guys colliding, football, hockey. You know, the injuries are there. If you don't want to get injured in sports, just don't play, right? But we don't do that in our world, and especially in America. You know, we participate, whether it's, you know, as weekend warriors or professionals or anything in between. But, you know, you got to realize that when you're playing professional sports, this is an industry that was created out of whole cloth by the owners. And it shouldn't be like any other industry, like Ford Motor Company or GM. When there's a problem, you investigate, and then you shut it down, and you fix the problem, and you go on. They're not going to give GM a pass, and if a worker was on the line at Ford Motor Company and he hurt his back putting on tires, they wouldn't go and inject him or give him medication to mask it and then tell him to go back on the line to put the tires back on. They take him off, put him on light duty, and wait till he recovered. So there's got to be protections for the industry because, you know, the players really can't protect themselves because of the nature of the game. So it's got to be looked into, I think, a little deeper, and maybe Congress should step in.
Well, you had mentioned we're talking with Mel Owens, former first-round draft pick of the Los Angeles Rams, and now practicing attorney, does a lot to work with former professional players, football, and more alike. Mel, now tell me, we had a side conversation. You did, and your firm did file the lawsuit in regards to the NHL in concussions, correct?
Yes, we did the NHL concussion lawsuit back in November on behalf of hundreds of NHL players, and we also are assisting them in the process.
And the Los Angeles Kings, once again, bestowers of Lord Stanley's Cup. How was, you know, do you work with those guys out there, some of the current guys as well? And you know, how is that going? Because, you know, I would think that they're most similar to football players when it comes to those type of injuries.
Well, you know, oddly enough, if you read the settlement documents, and you know, it only covers the retired players. So these guys would be the only guys that would be covered. The current players, I believe, would not be covered once they retire. So again, this is the NFL's attempt to, you know, capture what's happened in the past and knock out generations of players, and then as we go forward, you know, we're back to business as usual. In the NHL case, It's just in the nascent stages, and we're just going through some of the procedural motions legally. But we're going to handle it a little bit differently than the NFL one because we feel that the players should be protected. Something should be done, immediate for them, and have coverage later on in life and medical monitoring and treatment.
Mel, there was a suit. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Jim McMahon came along here maybe a month and a half ago. What was that suit? Is it different than what we were initially talking about with the $700 million?
Well, again, that was a lawsuit that we filed on behalf of thousands of NFL players for the misuse and abuse of medical and prescription medication in the course of their employment. And again, it goes back to any other workplace. You could work at McDonald's, you could work at Ford Motor Company, you could work at Walmart. The rampant use of masking agents and the prescription drug abuse provided by the team has really ruined players' lives. And when you see these studies and these statistics about 85% of the NFL players are broke or divorced or otherwise bankrupt after 5 years after they play. Well, Steve, you got to understand, when you leave the industry of these sports, you're battered, broken, and hurt, mind, body, and soul. So it's hard to get back into the mainstream of life when your brain has been battered, inside have been taking its toll, plus you've all the orthopedic injuries. Now, I know the listeners will probably say, well, you guys walked into that, you knew what you were going to expect. Well, granted, we know it's a violent sport, but there has to be some mechanisms afterwards to take care of the players. They do it in the meatpacking industry. They did it in coal mining. They do it in the airlines. They do all sorts of safeties, even though these are dangerous things that we do. You just don't cast aside the workers. And the NFL and the NHL is notorious for doing this to their players.
Mel, how did you cope and make it to become an attorney, practicing attorney, and to be able to assist your fellow players, teammates, and athletes?
Well, when I look into the mirror, I feel that I'm very lucky and blessed. Obviously, I have my issues because I played 10 years, and it's difficult to do some things. But I'm blessed, and not everybody is going to have these problems all at once. So, and we even understand that. But there's different degrees of problems that players have. And we want to make sure that we address those as well, so no player will be left out if you need it. So a lot of these problems happen in your household because it's not well understood. The wife thinks you're not listening to them. They can't do things around the house. They can't work. They can't do certain jobs. And, they fall on hard times. But these players are coping with a new normal. There's a new baseline, and it's hard for these guys to get through. But for me personally, obviously I have my own issues and my own struggles, but, I'm blessed where I haven't been debilitated to the point where a lot of these guys, can't work or can't function.
Well, we're talking with Mel Owens, former number 1 draft pick of the Los Angeles Rams, and now practicing attorney. Well, Mel, will you keep us apprised on the suit that you filed as well when it comes to the medications and Jim McMahon, Super Bowl shuffle him, Walter Payton, Willie Gault, the Fridge, all the guys, Dent, and all the guys on defense with them. It's just unbelievable. Wilbur Marshall. I mean, you list long. We don't want to see these guys, or I wouldn't as a former athlete and coach, not want to see these guys just, down in the dumps. And, again, thank you for what you did. We wear your jersey. If we're, and there's Chicago Bears fans all over the place. And now you really can't do anything. And I've seen some of the footage that McMahon in the last couple, doesn't wear his shoes. And it's just not a great state to be in as a former player. Will you keep us apprised of that and just the goings-on in the NFL from your perspective?
No doubt, and thanks for having me. But one last comment.
Sure.
Like you said, the NFL will put on its face that they've done so much for the former players, and they'll show them on TV, they'll show them in highlight films. But behind the scenes, something's gone really, really bad, and we intend to at least shine some light on it. And we believe that this drug lawsuit will make the concussion lawsuit seem small.
Wow. Well, listen, he's Mel Owens, former first-round draft pick of the Los Angeles Rams back in 1981, and now practicing attorney. We're glad that the things that occurred over 10 years for you have still kept you strong and strong enough to be viable for your family and for others. And again, love the game. We just want some adjustments made to give help. This industry is not going away. The money will be there. The sponsorships are great. The viewing audiences are large. It's becoming worldwide as well. So just please, let's find an equitable and reasonable optimal solution to all this and protect some of the great players.
Yes, absolutely, Steve. Yeah. And you know what? I love the game of football. People go, would you play football again? Yeah, I would play football again, but probably not in the NFL if I knew what would happen. Because it's a very, like you said, it's made for men. It's a man's game. But in the current state, I'd have to tell people, I wouldn't go into the league. I played football, went through college, but I probably wouldn't go into the league knowing what I know now.
Wow. That's a strong statement from a first-round draft pick. And, again, stay with us, and we'll be fascinated to learn more. Again, some people say it's just one perspective. Nonetheless, it is a perspective, a viable one. The NFL thought after everything that you went through that you would be a top 30 pick in its league. So we value that, and we know that they didn't make a bad choice if you played 10 years strong. I've seen the football cards, and I remember what you did. So we appreciate your time today, and we hope that your household, given the fact that Brazil still making it through in the World Cup, is a benefit for you.
Yes, so far so good. But like your colleague said, who are you going to vote for? I got to vote for America, obviously, USA when they play Brazil. And my
there
wife,
you go.
Kids, bright kids to go to Brazil. She's like, looking at him like in condemnation, like, really? You're going to go for the USA? you were born here, But it's a tough go, especially when soccer's such a religion in Brazil.
Hey, well, God bless you and your household. May you stay strong, my friend, and happy 4th of July.
Yeah, likewise, you two guys. Hey, Steve, anytime, man. I'm here for you.
Appreciate you, Mel. Thanks again. We're going to take a sidebar. We're going to come back one more segment, and then we're going to enjoy the weekend, get ready for Team USA's game on Tuesday and 4th of July right here on Laying Down the Law.